People always ask me what a good microphone for starters is, especially with how many options there are. Most people would opt for a USB microphone, and there are some really good ones out there, but normally I would probably get an XLR microphone because these are more upgradable. So, in today's video, I will be talking about the microphone bundle that I think is ideal for beginners, whether you're podcasting, streaming, or just creating content of any kind. So, introducing the Hayner-Seek TC-903X microphone bundle. You get an audio interface with this microphone. So let's dive right in. For more content, do make sure to subscribe to this channel because we upload fairly often and focus on all sorts of tech products. So do make sure to leave us a like and comment any of your thoughts down below while you're at it. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you want to support us further, then we've actually got a Patreon open, which offers early access to content and special insight to projects that I'm always working on in case that is something that interests you. So links to everything down below. So in the box, you're going to get everything that you need. You get the microphone, a mic arm, the interface, a pop filter, a windscreen, your cables, and other important and useful accessories that should help in making this a good experience to use. But enough about that. Let's get into the actual review. The exterior design consists of metal for this microphone. I was not expecting it to be as hefty as it is because it's pretty small, but it's so heavy. I like it. It feels very good in hands, and it does feel like a premium product. I like this build quite a bit, and I can agree that they did a really good job building this microphone, though I do wish that there was a little bit more protection from plosives built into this device, as it would make it easier to use without any external tools. You'll also only find the XLR port on this microphone because all of the controls for it are going to be on the interface itself. Speaking of which, we do have a pretty robust interface in terms of what it offers, but I would have preferred a simpler interface instead because having so many options on this only makes it more difficult to navigate, especially when not everything will be all that useful. During the sound test, I will talk more about the features on this interface, but there is a lot to look out at. On the back, you're going to get a 1/4-inch connector, live 1 and 2, mic 1 and 2 3.5mm connectors, and a USB-C port for charging. Then you will find a USB-C port for connecting this directly to a PC, and 4 additional 3.5mm ports, and a mini XLR connection. This interface is built fairly well and is strong enough for the money, so I have no complaints about the build. You also do get some meters to determine the gain levels of both the headphones and the microphone. So yeah, pretty cool here. In terms of the specs, here we have a cardioid condenser microphone that I'm assuming is a 20Hz to 20kHz microphone, since that's what it says in the instruction manual, but it doesn't sound like it's 20 to 20 to be honest, and they even show a different microphone in the instructions, so that much is just going to be up in the air. But these are the specs that I can surmise from this. Now we're going to get into the sound test itself, and this is where I have been speaking into this microphone the entire time throughout this entire review. I've been using it here with the included audio interface. But this part is going to be dedicated specifically to just talking about the overall sound quality of this microphone. And when it comes to the microphone itself, I have to say that it's not the best sounding microphone out there, not even for the money, because this microphone does seem to have a fairly emphasized mid-range, which I do wish was not really the case, since it seems to be a little bit high. And unfortunately, while it is really cool that this interface does offer some customization regarding the treble and the bass for the high end and the low end, it doesn't offer anything for the mid-range, which means that the thing that I would want to customize the most about this microphone, I can't really touch with it while using this interface, unfortunately. So yeah, that is going to be a bit of a shame, but this microphone does sound pretty alright, and I think that for most people, it is going to be okay. If you're using this as a starter bundle, it's going to sound fine. I don't think many people are going to complain about the sound. However, another thing that is worth noting here is that this interface does have a denoiser feature that I immediately turned off when I noticed it because it does cut off a lot. So like that denoiser mostly just behaves as a noise gate really. So if you're speaking into the microphone, that is going to open up that gate so that sound can actually go through it. I am not a huge fan of noise gates because I feel like they, at least I haven't gotten one to work properly. And in this case, even after turning off that denoiser, I still feel like there is a denoiser active and I don't really know how to turn that one off. So that is a little bit confusing. So if it does sound like it's letting some sounds in randomly when I'm speaking into it, or if I do sound a little bit robotic, that might be why. But I'm sure that there is a way of turning it off. I just, for the life of me, can't really figure out how to do that. But this is the kind of sound that you should expect out of this microphone as is. Also, since it does come with a pop filter and a windscreen, for the purposes of this video, I decided to just use a windscreen, but normally I do think that for the sake of audio, it is better to use a pop filter because a pop filter is going to handle plosives better and it is going to sound clearer than a windscreen. A windscreen does kind of muffle things a little bit, but I do still think that this microphone sounds pretty alright. So now on this board, you are going to find some stuff to play around with, like you're going to find some knobs here to mess around with the treble and the bass, so the high end and the low end. I decided to keep them both at 75% as to not overdo things here because the treble can be pretty overbearing, but so can the bass. So I do keep it at 75%. I would say 50% is maybe a little bit too low. There are also options here for maneuvering around echo, which I will admit I feel like we don't really need here. You do even get to mess around with the length of how long the echo lasts. So for example, if I turn on the echo knob, this is what it's going to sound like. But then if I extend the length of the echo, you can get this much at 50% and then this much at 100%. So I would say that, again, echo isn't really all that necessary. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a denoiser here, which I don't really use. There are going to be some faders here to adjust like the music volume. If you have this connected to something else that's playing music as well, you can adjust that. There is a mic gain fader as well, which I have almost all the way down because this thing is actually very sensitive. This being a condenser microphone, I also have the 48 volts engaged. So yeah, there is going to be that. This also does come with some built-in sound effects. So for example, if you wanted to sound as an older gentleman, you can press that button. And this is, let me see.
And this is what an older gentleman would sound like.
This is what a young lady would sound like, of course.
This is what a young boy would sound like. Duh.
And this is what a Lovecraftian creature would sound like, according to the logos here.
And this is just what it sounds like normally. Now, after disengaging all of that stuff. And there are also going to be some sounds over here. Like, for example, there are going to be some customizable sounds, 4 buttons to be exact, that you can customize and put some other effects on. And this does come with 2 copyrighted music tracks that I decided not to play for this, but you can play those if you want to. Of course, do it at your own risk. And then there are going to be some other sound effects, like, for example...
Are you ready?
Those are going to be some of the included sound effects, of course, that you will be getting with this board. And I would say that, yeah, that's pretty much everything that is of note to talk about regarding this audio interface in general. And I do hope that this has been useful to you. The monitoring on this is actually pretty good, since it does sound pretty accurate to the sound that you will get out of this microphone. So I think that this is pretty good. But I would not use the default earbuds with them. I would seriously consider investing in a separate pair of headphones like the ones that I've been wearing here. I will leave some recommendations linked down below because the audio will also sound more accurate and will allow you to monitor your audio much more neatly. It's just something that I would recommend using over-ear headphones for rather than in-ear earbuds, especially of that quality. So to conclude this video, I think that this is a pretty good starter set. It's a good starter set because it is an interface that can work with other condenser microphones, and I did test it out with other condenser microphones, but I did not get this to work with any of the dynamic microphones that I currently own. And I would recommend upgrading this microphone eventually too, but this will definitely do for now. If you're starting, then this is a great way to start. The interface can be confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty streamlined, and chances are that you will be ignoring most things about it anyway. So I can recommend it for beginners to the audio world, as you do get some flexibility with this kit. And it is fairly affordable as well, considering everything that you get in the box. You get a full-on setup, essentially. So yeah, I mean, go for it. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. It is always very much appreciated. I am going to be leaving affiliate links down to Amazon in the description for this so that you can also pick one of these up for yourself. And also, I wanted to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, beginning with the tier 3s. Omar, thank you so much for all of your support, and everybody else, all of the tier 2s and the tier 1s, thanks again for everything, because everything that you do really does go a very long way, and it is always appreciated. Now, please make sure to follow me on Twitch. I will be streaming on there very, very, very soon. I haven't streamed in a while because I have been working on my setup. but it is almost done. The schedule is in the works. I just need to make sure that it is actually what I am capable of managing so that I don't end up leaving early or anything like that. And also, I do have an Instagram, so please make sure to follow me on there too. Now, with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy.